Now, in the second part of the story, we learn that the king has ordered a huge party that was to last for 3 days, and to which all of the beautiful young women of the kingdom were invited to appear so as the prince might choose a bride. And so it's interesting, and you just looked at the story and you actually think that one may be a very wonderful young lady with her own smarts, wit, and the killer ability to make the best pizza in the kingdom. And to be frank, this has zero importance if you are not beautiful. And I do believe this is wrong. And I do think that we need to teach our children, but also ourselves, that we need to look beyond the shining. We need to see the beauty in the shadow, and we have to judge one's character not by appearance but by one's deeds. And this is a very easy sentence to write and a very easy idea to share because we were taught all of these things. And for many of us, it is personal. I mean, I'm confident that some of you were passed out for promotion because you refused to play ball on things you disagreed with. And most likely, some of you have felt the repercussions of speaking against an apparent injustice. And irrespective of how hard it is, and often it is hard, we should at least try our best to speak up when we see injustice, and we should refuse to give in, but we also need to grow up. You see, I have a very close friend of mine, and she likes to read all of these beautiful, fancy books on development and growing up. And she has formed this worldview that people can be put into certain categories. There is this book. I mean, I don't remember it exactly, but it's like some people are in red, some people are blue, some people are purple. I mean, all the rainbow is there. So I don't remember, but it does put them into certain categories, and then it comes and says, "This is how we would do it. This is how these people would act," and you use those books to form a certain view of people, and you would expect them to all share some traits. The thing is that we are often surrounded by people which we cannot put into certain categories. Our values may be different, our upbringing is different, and each one of us, may have some personal and social trauma that shaped us to be different. And if we think that we can change these people, then we do need to climb down from the high horse and face the truth that we are different and nobody owes us a damn thing. We also need to understand that we live in a cruel and messed up world. And all the books you've read, all of the beliefs you hold dear, often don't matter for a dime in this real world. Most of us are just trying to get by. We try to put food on the table, and we try to give us, our family, and especially our children, a fighting chance. So if you have to use looks, best looks, and walk all over people, and do all the things that might be socially inappropriate, or you as a person strongly believe against, don't think for a minute that other people wouldn't do it. We need to be ready. We should prepare ourselves, and especially our children, that when this moment comes, we have to be ready because the moment will come. Now, when it does, I think there are certain choices that are on the table. Now, we can give in and find comfort in the safety of numbers, and this is very attractive by all means. We would put aside our values and we would lie to ourselves that it will be just for this time only and embrace the status quo. We'll embrace like what everyone else is doing, we will do it. In very many respects, it will be both new and old at the same time. And at first, we would be at ease with being part of the pack. We would enjoy the newfound popularity, and you might even eagerly await that next coffee break to go meet everyone else and go through the latest rumor mill and gossip and all these things. But it's important to know that payments do become due. And sooner or later, you are expected to contribute to these discussions, to gossip with them, to share the latest rumors, make fun of people. And in the end, you are no better than those you have only recently derided as soulless pricks. And it's very possible that in time you are no longer able to stand the figure that stares at you from the mirror. There's, of course, another choice we can make. We can put our foot in the ground and we remain faithful to our principles. And boy, this sounds so great. Having a hill to die on gives you strength to move on. And it's very likely that you are very comfortable in your own morality and this high ground. And you will find those that share in your beliefs. Suddenly, you become popular at the local sit-in parties. You calmly sip your tea, and you proudly proclaim your beliefs to the exact same like-minded individuals. And then you gather in packs. You recognize that action as required. You take your messaging to the masses. And sooner or later, you will find that one person you want to put on the scaffold to hang. So, is the choice singular? Do you have to choose one or the other to basically get to the same result? I don't have an answer for this, to be honest with you. Well, I do have. I'll share it, but don't I don't think there is one that will make everyone happy. Actually, I think Cinderella understood the game better than some may have given her credit for. I know that there are some people saying that she was weak and so forth, but I think that she got it right. You see, she knew that she had to put up with all that humiliation because, frankly, she had no other choice. Life is not black and white, but in most cases, and we all know this, it's various shades of gray. For example, let's say she decided to rebel. What would have happened to her? Very likely that she would have been kicked out of the house, and it's very unlikely she would have found any good prospects during those times as a woman. But equally important, she didn't let go of her beliefs and try to become like everyone else. Good things happen to those that remain true to their values, but also to those who are patient and ready to fight for what they desire. Well, this is best seen with the arrival of the day of festivities, to which Cinderella expressed her wish to attend. Now, true to her nature, the stepmother meets this with disdain and a sense of disbelief. And when she is faced with an unshakable will, she comes up with a series of tasks that are designed to be impossible to complete. And in that particular moment, when all odds are against Cinderella, she pleads for help. And as the story goes, the gentle doves, the turtle doves, and all of the birds that are come to her aid, and she successfully passes all the trials. Next, she gets this beautiful dress, which, according to the description, even the Kardashians would be jealous of. But if we put the supernatural aside, I think this is an important lesson. We really should ask for help when we need. And I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I am I am noticing more and more that people do not ask for help when they need it. It's as if it's something beneath them. Maybe beneath them is not a good word. It's like maybe asking for help shows a sign of weakness, and I think this is wrong. Let me give you an example, which, to be honest with you, drives me personally crazy. But when traveling with a bunch of people to some foreign countries, And of course, it's obvious that you don't really know the place around you. And it's not that difficult to just stand up and go and ask some local or ask a policeman, ask anyone else, hey, how do I get to a certain location? And I don't know why, but it seems that men are the ones, my fellow men, are the ones that just simply have an issue going and asking for help. What equally drives me crazy, and this was something which happened to me in New York, is somebody saying, well, all those buildings look alike. And I'm like, dude, is the Empire State Building. It's kind of one of a kind. I don't think Jay-Z meant it in plural. So, you see, but the reverse is also true. If someone asks for help, we should, if possible, be there for them. You know, as we're talking right now, I recall this song, you know, you've lost that lovely feeling, and it's a great song. And I do prefer the Righteous Brothers version though. And I'm thinking that as as I'm listening to this song, I think that as humanity, we've um, we've lost that ability to be kind. Not all of us, obviously, but generally, maybe it's just me, but we're no longer kind. We cannot feel empathy, and we struggle to put our differences aside and just help one another. You see, it's easier to show your love to your fellow coffee drinker or your fellow tea sipper, but it's much harder when the beans and leaves mix. Left wing, right wing, Republican, Democrat, conservative, liberal, socialist. I don't know, it just drives me crazy all this name pro choice, pro life, pro gun, anti gun, Black Lives Matter, Blue Lives Matter, all of these words. But by the time we finish with all of them, all of these words and all these versions of, we found ourselves locked in our own box of self righteousness. And in this box, hope doesn't get in, and light rarely shines from. But let me ask you this before we finish with this part. Shouldn't we go one step further and actually help others, even when they are unable to ask for it or they're not ready to do so? See, I do believe that we have the key to this box, and we should open it and do good unto others, irrespective of our own differences or station in life. We should be kind, we should be charitable. And while we should keep others accountable, and that's important, we shouldn't judge them by their worst example while judging ourselves by our best intentions. And that's not my quote, that's something a US president once said. And I think, despite his many faults, that was actually a pretty good thing he said. And maybe if we all do it, we would leave our children in a much better world to live in. All right. This is the end of the second part. I think I'll wrap it up in the next one. So if you liked it, like and subscribe would help. Leave some comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.